Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Arthur Wilson, and I just want to share a few thoughts about the situation involving the U.S. war in Iran. For Melissa and I, the conflict feels a little bit personal, um, more than most international news stories. We have relatives living in both Bahrain and Dubai. They are not military people. They have a cafe and a restaurant, just ordinary people running a small business and trying to live their lives. This is the first time they've really felt the impact of war. At first, we didn't think they were taking it too seriously, but when the bombs started falling in the region, that changed. It certainly has their attention now, and it has the attention of the world. Watching the news is one thing. Hearing from family members who are close to the situation, whose livelihoods are being affected, that's something different. One of the challenges they face is that they simply can't leave. They can't fly out the country. Even if they wanted to, they can't leave the country. They have businesses, they have staff, they have responsibilities, and at the same time, they're watching things like their food and water supplies become uncertain. So, of course, we're hoping for the best, but it also makes you ask the question, how did we get here? One thing that concerns me right now is how difficult it is to know what information you can trust. The president has raised this term fake news, and I honestly find it increasingly hard to separate what's real and what's not. And I'll be very clear about this. My concern isn't about left or right, Democrat or Republican. It's about just plain old, simple honesty and credibility. When the president of the United States tells you something and it turns out not to be true, we give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe twice, maybe three times. But if it keeps happening, me personally, I just stop believing the lies. And when you're talking about something as serious as war, credibility matters. From my perspective, the way the president and the United States communicated the case for war was weak. The arguments weren't very clear. And as someone who studies change and transformation, I know that if you want people to support major change, you need to have a clear message and a credible explanation why the change is necessary, why going to war is necessary. That message should be clear, unambiguous, you know, and honest. To me, that really did not come across. Meanwhile, here I am sitting in beautiful regional Western Australia, watching all of this unfold, and it's a long way away. I spent most of my life living in the cities, but now I live in this gorgeous farming region. It's peaceful, great communities, wonderful people. And I'm surrounded by some incredibly hardworking, innovative, dedicated farmers, and wine growers. And I've learned something since I've lived here. First of all, farming is not a very easy profession. Okay. And farmers are good at adjusting to change. Maybe weather, fuel prices, fertilizer costs, supply chains, markets. They're constantly making adjustments. And the war affects all of that. This war is impacting all of that. It affects transport. It affects the cost of inputs. It affects food systems. it affects families and businesses. And, it even affects mental health. Even though this conflict may feel far away, it impacts spreads everywhere. And for farmers whose crops are in the ground and they're looking at, the type of fertilizers they need and the type of fuel they need to run their pumps and making sure that they have this supply, it can be stressful when you're saying that certainty that was there 1 week, it's gone now. So for its worth, in my view, diplomacy was weak. If, as they said at some stage, regime change was the objective, there were a whole range of other tools that were available before things escalated to war. You got to remember, the president wrote a book about the art of the deal. He's supposed to be a master deal maker. And if part of that is wielding the most powerful stick in the world, we understand. But I do believe diplomacy could have been much better. So right now, to me, it feels like things are going to get messy for a while. But like everyone else, we're hoping for the best. I'm Dr. Arthur Wilson, and I just wanted to give you my 2 cents for today. Thank you.